hardware side and did OS support, for a year after that. So I was very familiar with what it's like to support customers, day in and day out. And when Michael came to us and said, why aren't we going to the blogosphere and finding customers that are blogging about problems with their Dell hardware and matching up with somebody that can do something about it. When that happened, my boss came to me and said, I know you have experience in support. Can you figure out how to make this work? And so the first challenge for us was to figure out how do we monitor the blogosphere. What tools are available? And of course we knew the three things like Technorati and Google Blog Search and things like that. One of the first things we did is we looked at some brand awareness kind of monitoring tools, like Nielsen Buzz Metrics and other companies like that. And back at the time, this was in April of 2006. Back at the time, what we found is those kind of searches were good for finding, kind of trend level data to give you an idea of what's being said at a high level. But they weren't good at finding very granular things that we were looking for. So essentially, we had to figure out how do we do this. And after a lot of trial and error, essentially the way we started it was with customized Technorati searches and a spreadsheet. So very modest beginnings. And then the next challenge was pulling together a support team. Folks that have been doing support for years, but looking at supporting people in the blogosphere in such a public manner, that was a different challenge in and of itself. And so getting that off the ground, I worked with that team, for that 4-month period, pretty much every day, day in and day out. And that point in the process for us was critical because that was really the core listening stage. It's like Debbie mentioned, we learned a whole lot about what was being said, what were fundamental issues that were driving a lot of negativity out in the blogosphere, and then it gave us a clear understanding for what we needed to do about it. So in terms of our progress, people always ask me, what was the Dell experience like? How did you guys get it off the ground? And what has the experience been like? What I say is it started with that listening process. In April of 2006 when we started that, that was key to everything we've done since then. So once you move on beyond that listening phase for us, my next step was launching a blog. And I'm not here to say that blogs are the end all be all, and that it's going to be perfect for every company. The truth is, looking at where we are right now, there's a lot of different places where we interact with customers. It's not just on the blog. But back at the time, our blog made a lot of sense for us. We had some core issues, and really the core issue that we had to address was poor customer service in the United States. And that's what everybody was talking about. At the low point in 2006, almost 50% of the commentary about Dell was negative. And like I said, going through that process and working with customers day in, day out, that really helped me establish my voice as a blogger because I wasn't a blogger before I started working on the social media side of Dell. And so working with that team was critical in that we started to look at what's the difference between supporting one customer versus talking to an audience of maybe 10 or 50, 10 to 20 people, and then how do we deal with an issue that's impacting hundreds of people or even thousands of people? So all those different nuances really required a different way of approaching things, and those thought processes really helped me establish my voice as a blogger and how to address issues and how to have my personality be part of it all, and that's critical. People want to connect with other people. They don't want to connect with a corporation, and so all that was really key to us getting it off the ground. After we launched the blog, about a month into it, that led to us really engaging folks in the blogosphere outside of our own properties from a brand perspective as well. So we kind of started from a break fix side, from a tech support perspective, and that led to broader brand related issues or corporate issues that people were commenting on. And voting.com like voting capabilities. And so essentially what happens is any user can log on to Ideas Forum, and they can submit an idea. Anything that they think would improve Dell as a company, from a products or services perspective, anything at all. And beyond that, the community votes on any idea they either vote for or against it. And based on either the types of votes, whether it's positive or negative, or the frequency of the votes, there's an algorithm that dictates what votes are voted up at the top. And then the expectations from our customers is that we're going to take those top ideas and do something with it. So we launched that in February of 2007. And I would say the next phase for us right now, the other thing we've been doing lately is microblogging. And Twitter is the main thing that we use on that side. But we're looking at not only Twitter but applications like Printfeed, and I would say even Flickr and YouTube. Those are almost like microblogging because you can leave comments there, and there are discussions that are going on there. So really for us, when I look at where we are now, 2 years into it, it's more about the conversations that are being had, and going to our customers and having those conversations wherever our customers are. And so sure, the blog is an important piece of what we do, but it's just a piece of the overall strategy. What I can also say from a Dell perspective is it's really started to change our culture in the company and also our organization. And when we first started out 2 years ago, I was part of a very small team that was a subset of our communications function. And our team, back in the early days, I think a lot of folks looked at it as, blog stuff, that's something that Lionel and Richard Dell, they handle the blogging stuff and anything dealing with the blogosphere. And you look at us today, and there's a lot more people that are involved, both from a communications perspective and also from a support perspective. We had 2.5 years ago, had this small team that we started to support customers in the blogosphere. Now that team actually resides in communications with our team. And the other thing that we've done is we've consolidated the folks that have been moderators from the Dell Community Forum. They all became part of that big team, so we all work on social media properties together. And the strategy for us now is literally to have our folks be active on the comment threads and ideas forum, on the forum, on Direct Dell, and outside the blogosphere. So it runs the gamut. And the difference is we have teams of people that are responsible for looking at it from a holistic perspective. Whereas when we first started, it was very tool-driven and very siloed. And in terms of where we hope to move this going forward, we're doing work right now to figure out how can we blend these things in a way that makes it easy for customers to engage. Because right now what we see is on the forum side or the blog or I guess from any of the properties we're talking about, it tends to be the high-end tech-savvy user that gravitates toward these things. And for us, what we really want to try to do is to bring it to a more mainstream audience. And when you look at what is the purpose of all these different tools, it really is trying to listen to what our customers are asking for and then connecting with that information. So if you ask the average person, would you rather interact on a blog or on the telephone, most of them don't care and don't know. And that's the thing that we're trying to solve right now is how do we make it easy? How do we make it more of a topic-oriented structure? So that customers can say, I don't need to know that I have an XPS M1330 laptop. All I need to know is I've got a laptop. I can start there, and from there, they can get into any of the areas of the social media properties that I've been talking about, and can have discussions with people that understand the intricacies of the products that they're talking about. So that's what we hope to do moving forward. And you know, with that, I mean, that's really the only the prepared stuff that I